Hey everyone, it's Katie, and I'm making a quick video update today on my experience using the Sinclair Method for alcohol use disorder. If you're new to the Sinclair Method, I've made a few other videos about it, which I'll link below. And essentially, it's a method using pharmacological extinction to erase the addiction to alcohol from your brain over time. I've been practicing this for close to 5 months now, and I just keep noticing more and more differences, and for me it's just been an incredible solution for my alcohol use disorder. So I just wanted to share kind of an experiential and psychological update today on the experience of it. So yeah, it's been almost 5 months and I've noticed a huge difference in my quantity and frequency of drinking, and also my cravings for alcohol. So prior to starting this method, I was drinking 6 to 7 days a week, somewhere around 20 drinks more or less each week, and that had been going on pretty much for the better part of 10 years or so, with a few times of where I'd given up drinking for a period of a few months or 6 months or a couple weeks, but for most of 10 years I was drinking pretty heavily, and it got to a point where the cravings for alcohol were just taking up so much of my mind space, and I was thinking about it all the time, every day. And with practicing the Sinclair Method now, I basically have zero cravings for alcohol. Like, I don't think about it, and when I do think about it, it's like take it or leave it, pretty much. And this is after about 5 months on the medication. And they say that the longer you're on the medication, the more it works to erase this addiction. And some people even experience total extinction, meaning they just have no desire or craving for alcohol, and some people go totally abstinent, and some continue to drink. So for me, I'm still drinking about 1 to 2 days a week, maybe 1 drink to 5 drinks or so, and it's just socially. So I don't have any more cravings, which is such a relief. And when I'm drinking, it's just if I'm going out to dinner with friends or going out wine tasting or something like that. It's no longer like this huge part of my life, and I'm just like so grateful for that and excited to have found this solution. With that too, so I have a lot of friends and family members who, from my perspective, abuse alcohol. And so something I've kind of been dealing with this is I've been so excited to have found this method and the relief it's brought into my life to kind of erase this ball and chain of alcohol addiction from my life. And so I wanted to share it with them and get them excited about it and encourage them to try it. And so far, nobody that I know or I've shared this with has tried it. So that's been a little bit just kind of a lesson for me, in that, it's everybody's own choice. Everyone's on their own path. It's, the right solution for me. It may not be the right solution for them, or maybe just not right now. So that's been fascinating to learn, which kind of makes me excited to share with everyone on YouTube, because hopefully if you're watching this video, you're interested in possibly trying this method, or you have tried it. So it's nice to be able to have that shared interest and commonality together. Something else too, so when I first started taking the medication, there were some side effects of like upset stomach, and I was irritable, I was super groggy, and those pretty much subsided after the first couple of days as I continued on the medication. However, I do notice now that because I drink so infrequently, 1 to 2 days a week, that's how often I'm taking the medication, I do notice the side effects, but it's more like the day after. I feel a little bit kind of like down or sad, and I believe this is related to the fact that because this medication works to block the receptors in your brain which receive the endorphins. When you drink, your body releases endorphins. So for the next day after, my body's kind of recovering from that, and I tend to just feel a little bit down. So that's almost like another kind of like reason for me when I do decide to drink. I have to kind of prepare for that. And it doesn't happen every time, but I do notice it's just I don't feel that great when I take the medication and afterward. So, I'm kind of taking that as a blessing because it's just causing me to continue to reduce my drinking and alcohol consumption. Something else too, I would lean on alcohol when I was feeling depressed or sad or had a really great day and I wanted to celebrate, or if I'm really angry and just having a hard time in life, I would go to alcohol just to kind of numb out. And that was the pattern I had for the past 10 years in my life. And so though this pill does feel like in a way a miracle to me, in that it's just taken away this dark cloud of addiction from my body and my psychology and myself, there's still this component of, those issues still come up in life. You still have the interpersonal issues at work or with family, or just the internal, dialogue we have with ourselves that can torture us. So it's definitely been this really whole new learning experience and ways to learn how to cope while I'm sober with these difficult emotions without leaning on alcohol to kind of numb out and escape what's true and what's happening in me now. There have been times where since beginning on the Sinclair Method where I have used alcohol as a way to kind of escape a problem, but what I'm noticing now is that alcohol and drinking, it just feels more like a chore to me than it ever did before. Before, it was definitely a way for me to check out, kind of numb out, escape anything that was happening. And now, because I don't have that to lean on, I'm really having to relearn how to really feel these emotions fully, let them run through my body, and be with them fully without trying to numb out and escape them. So I'm just learning, better self-care practices, ways to kind of just be with these emotions I'm feeling without having to escape. And I feel like that's, ultimately been a really rewarding experience, but it's also been humbling because it's just kind of you have to face the problems. They're there. You can't keep numbing out, and that's no longer a solution for me. So I'm learning to cope with emotional issues in a sober way, and it feels really good. I also want to speak to just my general increase in confidence and vigor for life since practicing the Sinclair Method. Because prior to starting this, my mind space was so preoccupied with thoughts of drinking, the cravings for alcohol. It was pretty much there, every day. I don't even know, so many times throughout the day. I was thinking about alcohol when I didn't have it. When I was drinking, I was thinking about the next drink. I was beating myself up for drinking too much when I did. So that was just occupying so much of my time and energy in my mind. And then also, because of the amount I was drinking, I just felt like crap a lot of the time. I'm someone who, I take really good care of myself. I exercise, I eat good food, but drinking was this kind of crutch where I would just had no regard for my health or well-being with it. So, on a weekly basis, several times a week, I'd be, slightly hungover or really hungover, or just have this mental fog from all the alcohol. And I just felt kind of blah, most of the time. And so now that I'm consuming alcohol way less, I don't experience those foggy hangovers or anything like that. I just notice myself being way more confident and way more embodied in my experience of life and able to fully express myself from a clean, sober, clear state of mind, and it feels so good. So yeah, that's about it. Feeling overall really, really just grateful and happy to have found this method for alcohol use disorder. It's truly changed my life. It's not a miracle pill. There's still some very human aspects of ourselves that we have to learn to deal with when we're not coping using alcohol all the time. And so, that's really, though, ultimately been a really rich and expansive experience for me. So I hope this was helpful, and I'll provide another update soon. Bye.